So today I am going to show you guys how to turn this man's shirt into a trendy puff sleeve top. First of all, I'm removing the pocket from the shirt as we won't need it. I'm ripping it off with the help of a seam ripper. Now, because I don't want to risk damaging the fabric under the pocket, I'm trying to take some edge of the thread out by pulling it carefully, and once one corner is out, I'm pulling the thread little by little. Once the pocket is removed, I'm keeping 1.5 inches near the sleeve hole at the bottom. And also 1 inch around the sleeve hole near the seam line, and I'm cutting it out. So basically I'm just cutting out the sleeve, keeping 1.5 inches at the bottom. Folding the sleeve near the shoulder seam line, I'm keeping 1 inch and adding a pin and going to do a straight stitch. This is going to create the puffy gathering we need for the sleeves, and going to do the same for the other sleeves. Because it's bulky near the seam line, I'm cutting the excess out. Just make sure to follow both the seam line and not cut too much of the sleeves. Moving on, I'm folding the sleeve and pinning it down for hemming. Folding it, keeping about 1 inch, which will make a tunnel because we will need to pass an elastic through the tunnel, so make sure your tunnel is big enough for the elastic to pass through. Once the tunnel is ready, I took an elastic 10 inches long and pinned one edge to one side of the tunnel with the help of a safety pin. And passing the elastic through the tunnel, and pinning the other edge on the other side of the tunnel and going to secure it, sewing both the edges of the elastic with a straight stitch. From one sleeve to the other, I'm going to cut out the chest part of the shirt because we won't need that anymore. Also going to cut out the button line from the front part of the shirt. Just make sure to save it for later because we are going to need it. Next, I want to keep 9 inches as the length of the top, so I'm cutting out the excess. Because I want my top front to be V-neck, I'm measuring 4 inches on both the sides near the edges and folding it in a diagonal line and also pinning it down. Moving on to the back of the top, I'm first folding it in half, and because my back is 17 inches and if you divide it in half, it's 8.5 inches, so I'm going to keep 8.5 inches and mark it down. So this is the line, but I'm going to keep some extra for seam allowance because I don't want to risk it. So I'm going to cut it following this black line. Now this is what we have for the back. I'm pinning it down to join them together and sew it in a straight line. And also going to cut 1 centimeter on both the sides near the sleeves so I can fold the top edge and hem it down. So we've got 3 steps to follow here. First, join the back pieces. Next, hem the top. And moving to the front, also hem the front top. Next, it's time to add the button pieces to the top. So I'm placing the piece with the button to the right side of my top. Trimming off the excess, keeping about a centimeter on both the edges and pinning it down to sew it. Just to make sure both the pieces are added in the right place, I'm first buttoning it down, adding the other piece so I know where exactly to trim it down. And doing the same, turning it wrong side out and pinning it down. So I'm going to sew the pieces together and also hem the top. If all these steps confuse you while watching the video, it may feel like a lot, but trust me, when you actually do it, it's very easy. So I will say watch the video and follow the steps one by one, so to make sure you exactly know what to do next. Now to make the bottom part more narrow, to make sure it hugs my body like a glove and it's not loose at the bottom, I'm going to take off some fabric. So what I'm doing is folding one side of the top in half and going to mark 1 inch at the bottom and going to mark it in the middle, drawing a diagonal line and pinning it down. And as you can see, this is creating that cup effect, giving more space to the chest area while it's narrowed down the bottom, and doing the same to the other side. First, take 1 inch at the bottom, mark it in the middle and join the dots, drawing a straight line and pin it down to sew it. Also going to follow the same steps for the back. So I'm marking 2 dots in the middle of both the sides, drawing a straight line so I exactly know where to fold it. Taking 1 inch at the bottom and marking it at the middle, joining the 2 dots, drawing a diagonal line. Once I'm done pinning all the 4 lines, I'm going to sew them. So basically just follow the diagonal lines and sew it. And also going to hem the bottom. So there you have your super trendy Instagrammable puff sleeve top made out of a men's shirt for just about $4, while the Instagram brands are selling it for more than $100, which teaches us a little patience and hard work can give you fruitful results, which means you don't always have to spend money on everything you want. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. It inspires me to make more videos for you guys, and I'll see you next time.